Today, I'm talking about what acceptance is and why it helps to improve your mental health. And this isn't about being accepting of other people. That's just a choice that you make to be kind, because you don't have to agree with other people to be respectful towards them. This video is specifically about you and the relationship between acceptance and control, plus the importance of acceptance and mental health. So, I'll be sharing 6 ways to be more accepting in order to improve your well-being. So let's talk about acceptance. Hi, I'm Jeremy Godwin, and I talk about looking after your mental health with simple advice based on quality research and personal experience from someone who actually understands what it's like to go through mental health challenges. So, I have bad news. You cannot control other people or events outside of yourself. Sucks, huh? Now I have some good news. You are in full control of yourself and what you choose to say and do. Wait, isn't that just the same point, just spun into a more positive way of looking at it? Yes it is. I say that because we can find greater peace of mind in accepting things as they are rather than resisting or wishing that circumstances were different, because the past cannot be changed, and instead choosing to approach things more rationally and objectively so that we have a much better chance of success in terms of improving the situation. I think that sometimes we can find ourselves getting really hung up on how we wish that things could be, when we really have no control over anything other than this present moment and what we as individuals choose to do or not do. I know, this is all very deep and philosophical, but bear with me. Very often, our suffering can be directly related to the degree to which we resist the truth of what is. Instead of getting hung up on how you ended up wherever you are, which is kind of basically futile because you are where you are right now, no matter what you say or do and whether you like it or not. True peace of mind is to be found in accepting the present for what it is and then working from that point. This is about realistic optimism because it means that we have an accurate assessment of our current reality, but we also know that with enough time, effort, and perseverance, we can also improve things and we can grow. We just can't change the past. So let's talk about 6 ways to be more accepting, starting with make a choice. So do you want to feel stuck or worse yet, dragged down by your circumstances and events in your life? Or do you want to feel positive about your life and to have as much control as you can, given the reality that there will always be many things outside of your direct control? In the words of William James, acceptance of what has happened is the first step to overcoming the consequences of any misfortune. You get to make a choice to be more accepting of what is, and making that choice frees you up to focus more on what you can control instead of trying to change the things that you will never be able to change. And so that leads to my next point. Focus on yourself rather than what other people are or are not doing. Accept things as they are and do what is within your direct control to make things better. You cannot make someone else do or say something. You can certainly influence them, but you have absolutely zero control over what they actually do and say, unless they're an actor and you're paying them to read a script, but even then, your control is fairly limited. Instead of getting caught up in drama and arguments with other people, or letting yourself become upset or angry because someone's doing or saying something that you don't like, focus on what is within your direct control. You and what you choose to do and say, or not do or say. Okay, next, focus on relationships that promote acceptance. Because if you're around negative people all the time, it's virtually impossible for that not to rub off on you. You cannot change other people, so instead, choose to be around people who have a positive mindset and attitude and who embrace acceptance. Now, I know that's hard, especially because it might mean spending less time with people that you love because of their negativity, but you have to decide what's more important to you. Is it the relationship or is it your peace of mind? Because sometimes you just cannot have both and you need to accept that fact. All right, next, change what you can, let go of what you cannot. And by now you might have realized that acceptance and control go hand in hand, because a lot of our challenges and conflicts come from trying to control things that we cannot. Sometimes acceptance means having to change the way you look at things that are out of your control. Sometimes it means having to walk away completely. The choice is always yours, and it comes back to knowing your priorities and knowing what you will accept in your life versus what you will not. Okay, next, change your approach. Because just doing the same thing over and over again is not going to get you a different result, and nothing changes if nothing changes. Focus on doing things that make for a better today and a brighter tomorrow, rather than fighting about what happened yesterday. Because the past cannot be changed no matter how hard you resist that truth. It is what it is. It's happened and that's it. You can learn from it, but that's about it. And focus on incorporating words like can into your vocabulary instead of cannot, will instead of won't, and yes instead of no. When you look at things and focus on the positive more frequently, you tend to find more positives to focus on. Okay, next, practice acceptance daily. Because the more you practice, the more comfortable you become. And it's those little acts of acceptance that add up over time to big results. For example, if you're running late due to traffic, then instead of focusing on the negative, let go of the stuff that is beyond your control and instead focus on what is. Think about how you can use the situation to your advantage. I don't know about you, but being stuck in traffic is usually the perfect time for me to just crank out the greatest hits of the 80s and 90s and turn my car into a mobile karaoke bar, which makes me feel better about being stuck in traffic. Find refuge and joy in the little moments, because the little moments are actually what really matters in life. And when you embrace that mindset, it completely changes your well-being and your thought process for the better, as well as influencing in a positive way how you choose to use your energy. The choice is yours, as it is with all things related to your well-being. So, what choice will you make today? Let me know in the comments below. And acceptance goes hand in hand with learning how to let go. And I talked about how to do that in this video. Watch it now for more simple tips. And while you're at it, subscribe to my channel for new videos every week. Plus check out my weekly podcast, Let's Talk About Mental Health. It's linked in the description below. Thanks for joining me, take care, and talk to you next time.